Hey everyone, how are you? So, I like to write blogs and obviously do videos and tutorials. And so today I want to do something especially on the why and who strategy when it comes to termination. Why? Because I feel like you need a voice behind understanding how to have these conversations. And, you know, I find that just putting it into paper is not really walking you through the strategy. And I want to spend some time talking you through how I do it so that maybe that's not the way you'll exactly do it, but you can use some of the things that I have put in place to help. And so I come from a place of compassion and care and experience. So if this is the first time you've heard me, read about me, my name is Dr. Courtney Pegram, and I am a consultant, facilitator, executive coach, and professor. I work in the space of emotional intelligence, also like sexual workplace harassment, and then I do a lot of training on leadership and facilitation. So think about me as the trainer, as an executive coach, and someone that is extremely experienced in harassment, bullying, sexual harassment. So I was looking at flashes of the news and some of my newsletters that come in like from SHRMs, from like the pop-ups that come on from Harvard Business Review, and it's a lot of talk about layoffs and termination. And so I've been in that space. So today I want to walk you through how I've done it. So during COVID, I was hired to actually fire people. And at first I didn't like it. I had that ick going on and I needed to do it. I needed to pivot because I couldn't do the things that I used to do. So I got into that space and I actually realized like I'm pretty decent at it because of my experience and skill set. I was bringing compassion to difficult conversation. I was talking with people versus talking to them. So today I want to talk to you about the why and who strategy when you are going through a round of layoffs or termination. So the most challenging part of being in HR or being a manager is firing. It's very difficult to train, onboard, hire. I mean, it's an investment for HR and for managers, but it's really difficult to terminate someone. So how do we do it? So the why and who strategy is understanding what's happening, like, right? Okay, so why is this occurring? What were the elements that led to the layoff or the termination or eliminating the position? And then who are we talking about? So learning more about the people or the person that's being laid off is very helpful. Then additionally, learning about the why. Now here's the critical thing that I couldn't really put into paper, and I was trying to figure out how to say this. So I'm just going to tell you, you can't, I'm not saying have a hidden agenda, but you can't sometimes disclose information because you're not the one that is allowed to do that. So being in my position as a consultant, especially an HR consultant, there's a lot of things that I knew that employees weren't purview to. And I had to learn of how to take the information, process it, and then share to the best of my knowledge with the most authentic and ethical ways of sharing this information. I know that's a lot of words. What I'm basically saying is be aware of what you can and cannot say, but know the reasoning behind why you are saying what you are saying, right? Don't just be a robot. So the first thing you want to address is who is being let go and why this is happening. Now, I put together in the blog some questions you can ask, like, is this based on numbers? Is this a department? Is this performance, right? But the last question is the super critical good. Like, what is the company looking to accomplish? Like, bigger picture. Why are they doing this? That can help you kind of sleep better at night, understand, right? Business is business and it's really hard. And I believe every person and organization is important, but there's a lot of things that, people are replaceable. So once you understand the why, you can kind of figure out, okay, so maybe there's something better for these people. Maybe this is not their fit, right? Especially if they're underperforming, there's always a why behind that. So the idea is looking at twofold. They are people and business is business. How do we get to that like medium so that we all feel that people can be understood, but we're making the best decisions for our organizations? So once you get all that information down, like you want to figure out like, what do I do with this information and how do I utilize it for my conversation? So I put together some questions like that you can consider, like if it's performance based, right? So what happened? How did it happen? When did it happen? Was there write-ups? Look at their KPI. Like, Did they improve at all? So if it's performance-based, dig a little deeper on that, right? Now, if it's just cost-related budgetary restraints, right, go and explain maybe the bigger overall picture, why this department is being eliminated, right? So the data can help you frame the conversation when it comes to performance. The data can help you frame the conversation when it comes to budgetary restraints, but prepare yourself, okay? Now, this is the questions I would ask when I was preparing for when I was doing layoffs. It'd be like, okay, what's the ideal situation? Like, I would visualize everything, how I'd enter the conversation via Zoom or in person, like what I would say, when would I pause? What are my backups? What is my plan A, B, and C? So as a consultant, when I would meet with, say, the leaders that were saying you need to eliminate these positions, they'd be like, okay, so what is the plan? Are they eliminated 2 weeks? Are they now are we shutting off computers? Are we restraining their or taking away their clearance? Additionally, I'd ask what is their exit strategy? Is there any compensation? Is there any negotiation they can do? So ask a ton of questions so that in the meeting you are prepared, right? And then ask yourself, what do you want to get out of this meeting? If you're what are you talking about? I would always say, okay, what do I want? I want the person to feel heard, seen, and safe, right? So that's the way I operate. But maybe you want to be I want them to feel like they were added value and there's a lot of opportunities out there. Maybe you want to say I want to give them feedback so they understand that next time in a position, if they do things differently, things might change, right? So ask yourself, what do you want to get out of this? Sometimes in my meetings, I would say, I just want to get out of this alive. Because it was difficult. I've been screamed, yelled at, I've been threatened, right? So it's not always the easiest conversation. So that's why you need to plan ahead. Now, how do you want to show up? This is something that even sometimes in my most difficult conversations, when I was accused of stuff, I would still show up calm, emotionally regulated, and prepared. Okay? So make sure that you're showing up the way you want to show up. Then ask yourself, how do you want to help them? Is there anything you can do? What is within your power, right? These help you set yourself up for success. Now, these don't take more than 5 minutes to answer, but take the 5 minutes, okay? Now, I put a narrative together to kind of walk you through, okay, so this is sometimes how I would address these situations. So basically, let's look at the example. Hey, Jerry, thanks for meeting with me. This is a difficult conversation. I am sorry, but we need to let you go due to your performance, okay? Now, let's pause. So in the moment when you say that, when you finish talking, just pause. Do not jump into the why or start rambling or explaining. Do not over explain yourself, right? Get into it and pause. Sit with silence, okay? So, hey, Jerry, thanks for meeting with me. This is a difficult conversation. I am sorry, but we need to let you go due to your performance or lack of performance or underperforming. And then you pause, okay? So clearly lay out what's happening, get to the point immediately, right? I like to say I'm sorry because I do feel bad, right? And that's okay. If you don't want to say you're sorry, that's fine. Maybe it's just me because, as you get to know me more, I'm Canadian and I say I'm sorry a lot. So, so you figure out how you want to frame that conversation. And then you need to sit. So even as I'm telling you how to do this, my body language is shifting because I'm feeling a little I get flashbacks, right? So it's not easy. So I'm with you with this. Now the hardest part is sitting in silence. So they might sit in silence with you, they might get upset, they might get aggravated, and you might be getting yelled at, blamed, not making any sense. So just be calm and silent. Now, what you're going to do in your mind is, this is not about me. Sometimes I used to say, I'd feel the same way. This really sucks, right? So you want to hold space with them and for them. And you don't want to make it about you because it's not about you. But they need an outlet and you were sitting right there. So you're going to be the outlet, right? So hold space for them and let them release the negative emotions and the fear and all that stuff. Because if not, it gets stuck in their body. And you want them that when they're done with this conversation, they just feel a little better, okay? Because then it helps them exit. It makes things a lot smoother. So when they're done venting and saying their piece, right? Now it's your turn. Now you lean into compassion. You lean in and you say, I hear what you're saying, right? and this makes sense, and I'm sorry, or I can relate, or you know what, these is really hard. And so don't make it about everyone else. Don't make it about like the economy or, any of that, because it's you and them. Remember that, right? In that moment, it's you and them. So really relate to them. Things you can say, put some statements like, I can understand how this is difficult. This does suck. If this news seems to surprise you, this is good feedback for me. This is where we have to work as an organization, right? You can ask if you can create an exit strategy, or how, sometimes with the leaders, what I would do is like, how do you want us to make this announcement? Like, what would work for you? And we come to some sort of agreement of how we're going to make this announcement, right? So this is the plan. You do the plan in the moment, in the room with them, right? You can have an idea of your A, B, C, or what you're going to present to them, but do this with them. It really helps. It creates like some sort of connection or partnership, or at least something that you're not seeming like a robot and you don't care about them. And they have power in this situation, right? Because they could be scared, angry, and they can have all these feelings. So you want to show the humanistic approach to your organization, especially if you're a people-centered organization. Like, this is really important, okay? So these conversations, they don't take long. Actually, they probably take the time that I made this video. That's how long they take, right? 15 to 30 minutes. And then additionally, maybe, I would say 5 to 10 minutes of prep time. Maybe another 5 minutes of research to figure out what's going on. So a total time that you're doing for one employee, give yourself 30 minutes, right? Those 30 minutes might change your outcome, and the overall culture of the organization, the way people are treating each other, right? And then also how they're treating you. So this is just some ideas, but I wanted to talk to you about this and not just write about it. So that's why I decided to do this quick tutorial, as fast as I could, to walk you through the why and who strategy. So I hope this is helpful. Please sign up for my newsletter if you want to hear more. Reach out to me if you're interested in any coaching, workshop, or consulting. I teach monthly classes and workshops. Right now we're focused on facilitation. Hey, but you never know, we can move into firing and elimination and HR strategies if there's a need. But I am here for you. Again, my name's Courtney. So I hope you had some good resources or just some reminders of what to do. And, good luck with everything. I'm here for you. Thanks. Bye.